increase in pro-social behaviors, which is helping each other, being more loving, being more kind, being engaged in their education, and being respectful, that sort of thing. There was an increase in that. And the surprising part for many was that the more they learned about their emotions, the better they did in school. Which means that your EQ helps your IQ. Your EQ can actually help your IQ, meaning that if you have a bunch of emotions that you haven't dealt with, it's really hard to think clearly, right? If your emotions go up, your logic goes down, and so it's really makes it really hard to think and really hard to study and really hard to concentrate and really hard to focus and really hard to learn. And so we're trying to deal with our emotions so that people can be calm and learn. And they're in school, right? So our academic test scores went up dramatically based on the kids knowing how to deal with their emotions. Pretty cool, right? I think it's amazing. So like that's part of the magic part of it, I call it. Um, Best work you'll ever do is working on you. So Daniel Goleman came out with this book in 1995 on emotional intelligence. You've probably seen this before. And it's what he said at the bottom is emotional intelligence, why it can matter more than IQ, more than IQ. And since then, study after study after study is showing that incredible importance, like I was saying, about how important emotions are. Way more than we ever imagined. I mean, we don't mostly in our history of the world don't talk about emotions very much. And our parents didn't talk about it, and their parents didn't talk about it. I talked to my parents about it. They didn't know. My dad said I wouldn't know an emotion if it slapped me upside the head. This is what his exact words. And so I'm saying I don't think actually that our emotional intelligence is more important than our IQ, where it can matter more. I think they're even. I think we need to balance them. I think we need to balance them. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. So Daniel Goleman, who one of the most famous people in emotional intelligence movement, says there's four domains to EQ. This is real simple. A lot of this stuff is really simple. It ain't easy sometimes, but it's really simple, which is part of the magic of emotional intelligence, right? So first is you know yourself, social self-awareness. I know me. I got to know me. The better you know about you, the better you can do, the better you can be there for other people, the better all kinds of things. So it all starts with self-awareness. Awareness is the first step, the first key to change, awareness. And I'm going to say this a bunch of times. Second, once you're aware, you can manage yourself. You can do better. You can feel better. You can understand better. You can get along better. You can be more successful. You can manage yourself on and on and on. All kinds of things you can do with yourself once you're aware. And the more you're aware, the better you can do, in my opinion. So self-awareness, then self-management, then the better I need to know me, but I also need to know others, right? We're social beings. We like to get along. We like to be in groups. We need to connect with people, and we need to have good relationships. So we got to be aware that thoughts and feelings matter to us and they matter to other people. And if you know the social awareness, then you go to the step 4, which is relationship management, which basically means that you can get along better with other people and you can have better relationships, more satisfying, more fun, and more interesting, more successful, because we can get more done with more people a lot of times, right? So bottom line, I know me. I got to know me. I got to be able to manage me. I only need to know you, and I manage my relationships with you, right? Not rocket science, like I said. Very, very simple. Not so easy sometimes. Not so easy sometimes, but it's cool. You need to know where it starts. The things that we have, the three main components are our thoughts, right? Our left brain, our thoughts, our feelings, which are different, and our actions. So those are the main things that we're going to focus on. They're, again, super simple. Our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, not so easy sometimes, but our thoughts and our feelings help us create the action. So this is a 6 seconds chart right here. Back to 6seconds.org. Go check that out. They have tons and tons of great information. They're the top EQ trainer in the world. So if you want to learn more about this, and I highly recommend it, go to 6seconds.org. Okay. So this think, feel, act is theirs, and I added to it think, feel, decide, act. decide, act, and we're adding in the decision part because what happens is we have thoughts and we have feelings, and then we decide what to act, how to act on those, and that's a critical part of this whole thing, and it's the part that we actually have the most control over. All right, we have thoughts and feelings. Sometimes they just come. We can do things with them, we can manage them, but they're sometimes they just come, right? Lots of times. But decisions are ours. Decisions, we can have a lot of power to control our decisions, and that's a big deal. So it's not that we're broken. It's not that we have everything we need. We're born with everything we need. We just need to learn about it. Emotional education is the key. That's what we're doing here. That's why I now this will be I keep a list of them. You guys are the 45th college or university that I've now spoken to. I'm very proud of that, and I'm very excited that there's so many of them, mostly in India, by the way, and Nepal and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. It's also in the UK and the United States and some others, but my specialty, or not my specialty, but that seems to be who's asking me. Dr. Avenger keeps bugging me. Come on, we need this information. Keep talking to us. And so that's why I'm here. And I got Krishnaveer involved. They're like, we got to tell these guys what's going on. Anyway, so it's an education issue. And so that's good news. That's good news that it's an education issue. It's about being smarter with our thoughts and feelings. It's about studying ourselves. It's a study of you and me and we together. It's learning how to deal with our inner world that people don't know about and they don't understand. And all these, this is about linguistics and about our talking and how we talk to ourselves and how we talk to each other and what words we use. They're really important in managing our inner world. So I'm saying this is the most practical subject there is, the most practical subject, because 24 by 7 by 365 all day, every day, we're thinking and we're feeling, whether we like it or not. You can deny it if you want to, that you're having all these feelings. People say, I'm going to make a decision, or I'm going to be purely logical about this, and I'm going to move my emotions and put them out of it. Well, good luck with that because they affect everything that we do and say and are and think and feel, everything. So it's the most practical subject there is learning about our emotions, in my opinion. And it's about knowing yourself first, and you make sense to you, and other people make sense to you the more you know you. The more you know you. It's about you studying yourself. You go back and look at not go back, but step back kind of and look at yourself and watch what you think and feel. Watch the words or listen to the words. Become aware of the words that you use to explain you to you. The words you use to motivate yourself, the words you use to discipline yourself, the words you use to punish yourself, the words you use to encourage yourself, those kind of things. Those, if you can become aware of all those and accept them, you can do some cool stuff with them. Some people are really mean to themselves. Some people are harsh and abusive to themselves inside their own brain. And that is not helpful, not helpful. And if you can become aware of those and accept that that's what's happening, then you can do something different and try to do it different, change it. You can do that. And there's no cost to it. It just, but it can save your life. It can save your job. It can save your marriage. It can save your relationship because it's about you studying you. And it's a metacognition, we call it, which is cool. It's thinking about what you're thinking about. And meta emotion, I'm not sure that's an actual word. I think we might have made it up, but it's feeling about what you're feeling about. It's the big picture. Look at yourself from kind of step back a little bit and study yourself. Like I said, the best work you can do is learning about yourself. What we can do with that, once you understand yourself and you understand what's going on and you accept that, then you can use positive mental health to respond rather than react to life. I love that, the whole statement, respond versus react. React is habitual, automatic. You're not much consideration. You're just doing, right? You're just instant responses without putting much thought into it and not being very aware of it. Response, on the other hand, is intentional, purposeful. You use both sides of your brain, your logic and your emotion, to say, Here's what makes sense to me logically. Here's what makes sense to me, and here's what feels good and feels right to me. So you put them together, and then you decide what to do. Then you decide what to do, and then you can respond rather than react. It's a beautiful thing. It could be a total life changer for you, and that's what emotional intelligence offers in positive mental health. So the difference is, by the way, 6 seconds. I mentioned them a number of times. 6 seconds. The reason it's called 6 seconds is they're saying that scientifically they've shown that when our emotions get really high, when something get really upsets us or we get triggered, whatever, and it goes up, if you just wait 6 seconds, it settles back down and you can then respond rather than react to it. If you just wait 6 seconds, like the count to 10 thing and to, breathing, some cool stuff like that are a good idea, a really good idea, and the price is right for those. And if you can allow yourself to settle yourself down a little bit, then you can respond rather than react to these to all kinds of things. I love this too. This is a real quick thing about how we learn anything. This is about emotional intelligence, but anything really. First off, we don't know that we don't know. It's called unconsciously incompetent. We don't know that we don't know. All right. Second, we find out that we don't know. We become consciously incompetent and we find out, hey, I don't know about this. Hey, this is a new area. Hey, this is something I'm kind of interested in. I think I need to get better at this. That's called consciously incompetent. That's a good thing. That if you're in school, which all of us are, it sounds like, I think, is that's one of the reasons we go to school, right? Because we go, hey, I need to learn more, and so we know that we don't know, and then we go to step three and we find out how to know more. We find out how to do better, how to succeed. We become consciously competent. We're thinking about it. We're studying about it. We're using we prioritize it, that sort of thing. And so we find out how to know. And then eventually you get to step four, maybe, hopefully someday, where you don't have to think about it. You're just doing it. You're doing it better. You're not doing it the old habitual ways. You're doing it better. And so that's called unconsciously competent. So I find this helpful in EQ and in anything, is that you go, hey, I don't know. Oh, no, I know that I don't know. And then I know. And then, oh, I know. I know, you know? So you don't know until you know. That's from uh, Finding Nemo, Disney movie. I love that line. Anyway, balance is the key. Like I said, we want to do both. This guy on the left here is knows most of us are really good at our IQ. That's what we study in school. That's what our culture is based on, is our IQ. But we need to balance it and get our EQ as well. They need to get along. Our head and our heart need to get along. A lot of people have wars inside of them, and they feel all kinds of stuff, and then they put themselves down, or they don't know how to deal with it, and they're having problems that they don't get along between their head and their heart. You got a war going on there, and that's going to cause wars inside and out of you. And if you can get along, like this one at the end, where they enjoy each other's company, kind of thing. You could call it head or heart or left brain, right brain, however you want to do it. Here's a brain, left and right. That's a real brain. It's wild that she's got it in her hand and there's a spinal cord going down it. That's just amazing to me. I love this picture. But it really clearly shows that there's two sides of our brain. And one side is our left logical side, where our words come from, and our right brain is our passionate, emotional, our senses, our creativity, our emotions are on the right side mostly. It's not cut and dry that way, because some of them go in the middle. But anyway, you get the idea. It's a cool way to show it, is that we have logic on one side and the emotion on the other side, and we need both. We need both. So we're working on positive mental health. Positive mental health is the skills, behaviors, and competencies, right? These are actual actions on putting your thoughts, feelings, emotions, decisions, and actions to work to make your life look, and more importantly, feel as great as you want, or as you can. Most practical subject, I said, we got to be able to deal with our problems. We got to deal with our emotions. We got to learn how to deal with them, especially the negative ones. And when we can do that, then we can come back up. So we go down, we deal with our fear, our anger, our sadness, our anxiety, our tension, that sort of thing. And we can, if we deal with them properly, then we can come back up and get more positive. So you notice this is kind of like a smiley face. You turn that frown upside down, meaning that you deal with the emotions, your negatives, and so that you can get more positives. That's the point. That's why it's called positive mental health. So, and what we need to know is that there's thoughts and feelings, but your thoughts usually come first. Not always. There's arguments about these in the community of which one comes first. If you look it up on the internet, which I did just the other day, that you find both of them. They're absolutely sure that thoughts come first, and some other absolutely sure that feelings come first. I think thoughts usually come first because if I think I'm safe, I'm going to feel good. If I feel unsafe, if I think I'm unsafe, I'm going to feel a lot of yucky stuff, right? Unsafe being just one example. If I think that you're out to get me, I'm going to feel certain things. If I don't think that, if I think you're my friend and I'm okay with you, I'm going to feel different. I'm going to feel a lot more positive, right? So our thoughts come first, and we can change those. We can change those. That's the good news. So I like this quote: the greatest discovery of our generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. Those are the words that we say to ourselves, and they are thoughts. They are thoughts, and that's why it's relevant to linguistics and journalism and all that. This whole study is about the words that we use, and our thoughts are our words. Our feelings are energy, and a lot of times they don't have any words, and they're kind of weird because there's no words. I'm just feeling something that I don't know what the heck it is, but and that's okay. That's okay. It's interesting about learning about ourselves, but our thoughts, if you can change your thoughts, which you can then change your feelings and then change your life in that order, usually. So so you can't when you have a thought, you can't really unthink it because you already had it. It's in the past. But what you can do is notice that you had it, that it's a yucky thought, and you can change it into something better. You can say, if I think you're out to get me, and I think and I think I'm unsafe, and I feel unsafe, and I feel anxious and scared, because I think that, I could go, wait a minute, right this minute, I don't think that. I don't think you're out to get me. I don't think that I don't need to be scared of you right this minute. You're just sitting there and I'm just sitting here. And so I can be okay. And so I can adjust my thoughts. I can what I call spin it to win it. I can have a negative thought and I can look at it and I become aware of it and go, you know what? I don't like that thought. I'm going to have a better thought. And we can consciously create thoughts. We do it all day long at school and work. We create thoughts. We consciously decide what to think. And so we can do that. And if you think different, you will feel different pretty much every time. So try it. Try it. But our thoughts, you got to hear them and then change them. So here's some of the negative thoughts. We're trying to change them into positives, negative emotions, sorry, into positives. And so that's what we'll talk about this in a minute. This is Paul Ekman. If you guys know about the movie Inside Out, it's a Disney movie, super popular. The Inside Out 2 just came out. It was the #1 animated movie of all time. It was just came out this summer. And it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, there's another slide on it later. But Paul Ekman was the consultant to Inside Out movies to Disney. And this is some of the stuff you can analyze your emotions, which is pretty cool. When I saw this graphic, I'm like, that's cool. How did it come on real fast? The onset. How did it come on real fast? How intense is it? How long is it lasting? Is it kind of going down over time or is it going up over time? How often are you having it? That kind of stuff. So you can look at your thoughts. This is part of the meta study, and the meta emotions is studying yourself and what's going on inside of you. And you can analyze it and look at them and learn more about you and what's going on for you so that you can manage you. And all of this costs exactly the same amount. Nada. So try that. So we're calling it peace education now. So these are the three basic steps to it. They're the basic skills. Krishnaveer mentioned name it to tame it. That's one of my favorites. We start there. Awareness first. Awareness first. All right. What am I thinking and feeling? Is that a positive thought or a negative thought? Am I having positive feelings or negative feelings? Becoming aware. So naming it to tame it means that if we can identify what the heck's going on for us, then we can say we can make more sense of ourselves, and then we can do something about it. Sometimes Fritz Perls said awareness per se can be um, what's the word? Healthy. What I forget the word that he used. Anyway, you can learn. You can change your life just by becoming aware of it first. So name it to tame it. Identify what you're thinking and feeling, and then the second step is spin it to win it. If you don't like what you're thinking and feeling, you can change it. You and only you can change it. And that's good. That's really good news. To me, that's the best news on the planet, actually, is that I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge of me, that I can spin it, that I can change it. And lastly, the action is that feel it to heal it. Feel it to heal it, meaning that if sometimes, I'm not suggesting this all the time because you can't function if you're all walking around in your feelings and you got all these feelings going on, you couldn't function very well. But sometimes if you have strong feelings, the way to remove them out of your system is to let yourself feel them. A lot of people don't like that. It's like I said, this is real simple. It ain't easy. We could teach little kids, even little kids. We go, hey, if you are sad, or someone hurt your feelings, or you lost something, or you're hurt physically, if you let yourself cry, you'll feel a lot better. Just let yourself cry just for a few minutes and you'll feel so much better. And it works like magic. It works like magic. And little kids go, oh, okay. It's adults that don't like doing that. But it's true. If you let yourself feel whatever you're feeling, if it's fear, really fear, or anger, you've got all this anger built up in your body, or sadness that you lost something really important to you. If you let yourself feel those feelings, at least for a few minutes, your body will thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that. And you can heal stuff and you can let it go, let it flow, and then let it go. I say so try it, feel it to heal it. It really works. Feel and release what's the negatives, part of positive mental health. Um, uh, um, we're talking about peace. Dalai Lama said world peace begins with inner peace. And I'm saying here that the better we know our emotions, the better we can handle these three steps and be able to deal with our thoughts and our emotions, the more peaceful that it's working for me. And a lot of people I know, it's working for me. I get more inner peace. I feel more peaceful if I know about my emotions. So Dalai Lama said, through inner peace, genuine world peace can be achieved, which I'm very happy about. That's very good news. The importance of an individual responsibility, meaning you are in charge of you, and if you understand about you, then it's clear. An atmosphere of peace must first be created within ourselves, inner peace, then gradually expanded to include our families, our communities, and ultimately the whole planet. Cool, right? So that's why we're teaching this. That's what the point of our nonprofit is, to try and create world peace. And I think world peace starts with inner peace, and inner peace starts with emotional intelligence and positive mental health. So that's why we're doing this. That's why we're here. Um, there's different kinds of peace that these are all teachable skills too. There's inner peace inside just my relationship with me. There's interpersonal peace, my relationship with you, one person. I can get along with one person. I can learn how to do this. That's we. There's social peace among us, group, family, community, classes, school, etc. We can learn how to get along. In fact, we're doing it right this minute. I think there's 100 of us in the room here, and as far as I know, we're getting along pretty well right this moment. And so that's pretty cool. So we're doing all three of these to begin with, I think. And I believe, and the point of what we're trying to do is that if enough of us know how to be peaceful on the inside, maybe we can have big peace on the outside. Maybe we'll see. We're going to give it a try. That's what we're here for. So, um, um, we're talking about inner peace for a minute. Just check it out for actually, if you would, for a minute, is how peaceful do you feel right in this minute? How peaceful do you feel? Rate it for yourself, 1 to 5. One being I'm all agitated and upset and I'm not peaceful at all and I'm scared or whatever it is. Actually, you can have negative emotions. Check this out. You can have negative emotions and be peaceful at the same time. You can be afraid and peaceful about being afraid at the same time. You can even be angry and peaceful at the same time. That seems very bizarre, but it's actually true. If you understand your emotions and you're okay with your negative emotions and you know they're not going to take over your life and continue for the rest of your life and all that kind of stuff, if you know that you're in charge of you, you can be peaceful about this. So you can have negative emotions and be peaceful at the same time, which is pretty cool. So, oh, somebody put in the chat. Thanks. 3. Good, good. Okay, well, cool. This is your left brain. This is your logical side looking at your right brain. When you rate something, rate your emotions, then you're analyzing your emotions. That's different than feeling them. That's your left brain looking at your right brain. So just so you know, so be careful with that, because not be careful, but it's cool to know what's going on inside of you. But we just got to go over on the right brain and feel it. Sometimes we got to feel it. We can't always just be analyzing it. So specifically, how do you feel? And then the next one is generally, how do you feel? How peaceful do you feel? Like the last couple days or the last week or so, how peaceful do you feel in general? If you want to put it in the chat, that would be cool. But rate it for yourself. Give yourself a rating. How peaceful do you feel? 1 is not at all, and 5 is I'm Mr. Serenity here. All right. So, so rate yourself. It's kind of fun. I've got a quiz about emotions that goes through all this rating system, but I don't have time to do it. If you guys want to, I'm happy to share it with you later. But it's really helpful to be able to rate yourself so you can understand yourself. So thanks, you guys. We got some good 4s in there. No greater wealth in the world than peace of mind and peace of heart, I should say, actually, peace of mind and heart. Knowing yourself and being able to be okay with yourself is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So the 3 basic steps to positive mental health are awareness. Like I said, you got to know first. First, we can't do anything until we're aware. We can't do anything. That's step 1 is awareness always. And so keep being aware, keep finding stuff, keep looking at you, keep analyzing yourself and check yourself out. Check yourself out. Check yourself, they call it. And just be aware of yourself. It's called mindfulness and consciousness and cluefulness. It just be aware of yourself and your emotions, not just your thoughts, but your emotions too. So awareness first, then acceptance. That's a big deal. It doesn't seem like it's a step in itself. It is. It's huge, because a lot of people are aware that they have feelings and they deny the heck out of them. They don't accept them. They criticize themselves for them. They put themselves down for them, because that's what we were told when we were little, right? Is that I'll give you something to cry about, young man, or big girls don't get angry, right? That kind of stuff. You don't. I'll get. You take it in the other room, kind of thing. So we don't accept stuff, and so it's really important that we do learn how to accept ourselves and accept what's going on for us. It only takes a second, but it's a speed of thought, but it's a critical step. And part of that is awareness or acceptance is accepting emotional responsibility, I call it, which means that you are in charge of you. You made your thoughts. You made your feelings. I did not make you angry. I did not hurt your feelings. I cannot. You do that. You do that. And that's really good news, because that puts you in charge of you. I can say what I can say and I could do what I can do. And all people are doing this and the world's going on and everything's happening outside. But we get to be in charge of what happens inside of us. We have the power. I call it POWA. I have the power to decide whether I want to be upset with you or not. I get to decide that, and that's pretty cool, because that puts me in control of me. I want to be a control freak in this area, and I can accept things. And I can know that I made that thought and I made that feeling, and I can change it if I want to. That's pretty cool, right? Accepting, that's spin it to win it. And then lastly is that once I'm aware and I accept, Then what do I want to do with it? What do I want to do? That's an action. What do I do? See, the first parts, awareness and acceptance, emotions and thoughts are inside of us. Actions are outside a lot of times. And so, warning, warning is that there's going to be other people involved. So when you do actions, I had a talk with someone earlier today. They were very upset about something and therefore did some really bad actions. And I'm like, no, you can be upset and not do actions, not do anything, not hit them back, not shoot people like they do in the United States because you're upset, and go get your AK-47 and mow down a bunch of little kids because you're upset about something. You don't, that's stupid actions, right? Those are stupid actions. So action or no action is a big part of this, is that sometimes I'm going to decide not to act. And that is cool because that puts you in control of you still, and it allows you to respond rather than react to situations. I'm going to choose not to act here. I'm not going to hit them back. I'm not going to hurt them. I'm not going to shoot anybody. I'm not going to all that. I'm not going to shoot myself, right? That kind of thing. So sometimes no action is a really good idea, especially when big emotions are involved. So check that out. So check it out for yourself. So what do you think? Remember, thoughts, feelings, actions. So just for now, just for fun, check it out. What are you thinking right now? See if you can figure out what you're thinking, not what you're feeling, what you're thinking. See, just try it for a minute. What are you thinking right now? Just listen to the words that are going through. Okay. Okay. Next is, what are you feeling? Those are different. What's emotion? The emotions are, I've got a slide on this. I'll come back to it, I guess, is what are you feeling? What are you feeling? And then what are you doing? What are you doing? You're probably sitting here, you're probably multitasking, you're probably on your phone or whatever, and sort of listening to me. That's what you're doing. But those are different than what you're thinking and feeling. I just want to help you distinguish between those. Distinctions are a big deal in emotions because things get all mushed together and they don't need to be. We can separate them and go, oh, I see. That makes more sense. It helps us make more sense of ourselves. So when you're aware and accept then what you're thinking and feeling, then it often changes the way you're going to act. It's good, often changes it. So the cool part is that the more you know you, the better you know emotional intelligence, the better you know yourself and your mental health, then you have more choices. You have more choices. And then you get to decide how to act. You get to respond rather than react because the more awareness and more acceptance of who and what is going on inside of you, you get to decide what you're gonna do with them, and you get choices, and that's a beautiful thing because choices means freedom, in my opinion. Choices means freedom, at least for me. So we do the feeling check-in. What are you feeling right now, right? What are you feeling right now? If you want to put it in the chat, here's the guys from Inside Out. This is that movie I was just talking about from Disney. This is the top animated movie of all time. It was just came out a couple months ago, and these characters are feelings. The guy on the left is this is fear. The anger, you can see the little red guy is anger. This is sadness, the little blue girl, and then the other one is disgust, which is kind of bizarre. I have some challenges about that being one of the core feelings, but she's a great character because a lot of kids these days disgust is a big deal. And the lady in the middle, the star of the movie, is joy. Is joy. And so that's what we're working on. I love it that also that little anger guy, he's just awesome. He gets all fired up and his hair and it's like that's what anger looks like. And so people who've never talked about anger before, which most people now have like a little picture of what anger looks like. And so that's what anger dude is. So anyway, so those are helpful. So also on 6 seconds, there's this thing called Plutchik's wheel, and it's probably hard for you guys to read, but there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words. There's in the English language and all languages. There's a whole bunch of words about feelings, and it's really helpful for us to be able to understand and know what the heck's going on inside of us. So see if you can identify, and you can feel more than one thing at a time. And so this is where that name it to tame it comes from. You notice what you're feeling, and then you go, oh, I see, and then you make sense to you. That's a big deal. All right. This also is on 6 seconds. This is Plunching Wheel. They've got a cool interactive deal now. You can click on one of them and it shows you what's opposite. It shows you there's a matter of strength of whether you feel it a little bit or medium amount or a lot and that sort of thing. So it's really helpful to understand it better. Here's one we use for the kids that we have lots of teachers will ask the kids they'll go around. I know one teacher that's done this 4 times a day. They do this 4 times a day. They've got this chart up on the board, and they go, "Okay, let's go real quick. One word. What are you feeling?" And they go around the room, bam, 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 bam. And the kids, it's fantastic because it gives them awareness, it gives them acceptance, it gives them validation. Validation being that, okay, I'm angry, and 3, 4 other people in the class are angry too. Huh, that's okay. That's not that big a deal. We don't have to go shoot anybody. It's a feeling. I'm not angry. I'm feeling. It's just a feeling I'm having, and I can deal with it. And it makes me so I'm not weird and I'm not alien. I'm not abnormal. I'm just upset about something, and that's okay. That's okay. And it's cool because it's a wonderful thing. So, and you notice I crossed out how. If you ask people, how are you feeling? Most of the time, at least in the United States, they'll say what they're feeling physically. I'm tired. That's one of the biggest ones in the United States. Americans are always tired and overwhelmed and exhausted. They use that term a lot. But that doesn't tell you what you're feeling. That's a physical. That's what your body's feeling, but that's not what your emotions are feeling. So if you say, "What are you feeling?" you get a better answer. So try it. So if you would right now, check it out. Which one? Pick one, pick two, pick three if you want to. The same price. And what are you feeling right now? And so it helps to identify that's awareness and acceptance, hopefully, that you look at it, you go, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. And then you go, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. That's acceptance. That's what it takes. And then what do you want to do with it, if anything, right? What do you want to do with it? So check it out. All right. Each of our emotions mean something. I'm not going to go through all these, but each of them have meaning. I can give you guys the PowerPoint afterward if you want to go through it. It might be helpful. Um, Self-talk is huge. It's huge. What's going on inside of you? What do you say to yourself? Listen to yourself. Accept that you may have some work to do. You may have some changes. Once you listen to yourself, you're like, geez, really? Come on. Sometimes some people, like I said, are harsh and brutal on themselves, or discouraging, or you can't, or they're not letting me, and I'm powerless, and poor me, and all kinds of stuff. Listen to what goes on inside of you. That's really, really important. How you talk to yourself. This last part, what to say when you talk to yourself, is the name of a book. It's a really cool book, and you actually, like a lot of personal growth books, you don't actually have to buy it. You get the point. What do you say when you talk to yourself? What are you saying? And so it's a really good book, but you get the idea. That's the name of it. What are you talking about inside of you? So try that. Um, so, and then you ask yourself, is this helpful? That's the word I use a lot often. Is this abusive? Is this whatever? You can use all kinds of words, but I use, is this helpful? I'll say something inside of me. I'll have some thought and I'll check it out and I'll go, that wasn't helpful. That's not helpful. It may be true, but it's not helpful. Or it may be, anyway, check it out. Is it helpful or not? Um, and you can ask people, how do you want me to respond when you do something? Anyway, I don't have time to go through all these. I feel so communication skill. This is one of the big ones for this. I think this is number one communication skill, is being able to listen to someone, let them feel. Let them feel. If you will listen to people and allow them their feelings, you become really important to them. It will improve your relationships. I guarantee it. If you will ask people and care about what people think and feel, and then shut up and listen to the answer. You got to be quiet for a minute and listen to the answer. You don't keep talking. You don't go, "What are you feeling?" No, you got to be quiet and let them explore and let them talk to you, and they will feel safer with you, and you will become so important to them. It's this like kind of magical little communication skill, is what I call listening with soul, which means you stop or you shut up, close your mouth, open up your heart. That's one of our big skills in emotional intelligence, that we can open our heart as much as we want, or we can close it down when it's not safe. So stop, open up your heart and listen to people or love them, whatever you want to call it. So stop, open up and listen. Listen with soul. One of the greatest gifts we can give someone is to just shut up and listen to them for a minute, and they will tell you stuff that is unreal, and it will help. It's helpful. It's so helpful a lot of times for people to say what they need to say and feel what they need to feel. And you can be a conduit to that. You can be someone that creates that. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It takes just a little bit of education on your part, a little bit of caring on your part, a little bit of time on your part, but it can be improve your relationships amazingly. And don't forget to listen to understand, not to respond. In fact, you don't even have to understand. You don't even have to understand, and you don't even have to accept what they're saying. And, well, you can accept it. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with what they're saying. It could be like, what? I would never do that, but it does. That's not your thing. Your thing is to listen to them and let them be them. And then they're like, wow, thank you so much. And like, wow, I didn't do anything. I just sit here and like, yeah, but you made a safe place for me, and you made it so that it validates me, someone other person that cares about me and that kind of thing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So here's a really important part of this whole thing, in my opinion. We got to deal with our problems, right? We got to deal with our problems. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about your problems? Those are actions. Those are action. What are you going to do about your problem? Okay. Differentiate that with what do you do with your problem? Those are your thoughts and feelings about the problem. So what do you do with that? Um, Example is that I have cancer right now. I have cancer and it's actually getting worse, and it's not going very well. I had a meeting the other day with the doctor oncology, and it's not going very well, and I'm scared about that. So what am I doing about it? I do the meds that they tell me to do. I'm trying to eat right and take care of myself. And some ways I'm not doing too good. But what am I doing about the problem? I'm doing what the doctors tell me to do, and that's what I'm doing. In between there, however, what do I do with that? What do I do with the fact that I have an incurable fatal disease? What do you do with that? What do I do with that? I'm asking myself. I have to deal with this on a daily basis, and that's where this question came from, because a lot of times I can't do anything about it, but I got to do something with it. I got to do something with it, or I'm in trouble. And so blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you get the difference between actions and your thoughts and feelings are a big deal. CBT, most popular therapy, we're adding to it. CBT is cognitive, meaning your left brain, behavioral, right? Okay, I think this and therefore I'm doing this. Well, that's cool, but what we found is they skipped a big step called affective, your emotions. We need to go cognitive, affective, behavioral, CABT. And we've been working with the therapist for like 40 years now, 30 years. Doc Downey, he's my mentor, and he's creating CABT. It's a big deal, and we're doing a Wikipedia article on it. We got a bunch of research on it and that sort of thing, and we need more, but we're adding emotions. CBT says if I change my thoughts, it will change my feelings, and therefore I can change my behaviors. Well, usually, or a lot of times that's true, and it works. CBT is cool, it works. And it works even better is if you go, I have thoughts and feelings, and I need to sometimes deal directly with my feelings, then I can have cool behaviors. So if I study myself better, I can think better thoughts, I can believe better beliefs, I can feel better feelings, I can make better decisions, I can take better actions, I can get better results, and I can live a better life, all for no charge whatsoever. And I can even, their studies are showing now you can make more money and you will be happier and you even live longer if you know about your emotions. It's wild. It's really true. So it's like I said, it's more important than we ever imagined. But all this stuff on here, you could change all this stuff on in your own life for free by yourself. It's more fun and or more productive with and more effective with someone if you get some help or someone else that's safe and is doing it with you. But you can do it by yourself. You can do this all by yourself, all by your lonesome. You can make better choices. You can have more freedom. You can have more personal power. You can have more love in your life. You can create more intimacy by opening your heart. You can feel more alive instead of just making it through the day. You can get better results. You can be more successful. You can become a leader of your own life and your family and your work, whatever. You could do all that's about positive mental health. You can get some more self-esteem and self-care and have some purpose in yourself. You can get more peace. You can create better teams. You can get better relationships, on and on and on. You can heal your pain and your anger and sadness from your past and your trauma. All this stuff by learning more about your emotions. All this stuff is pretty wild. So this is about past, present, future. Again, awareness and acceptance. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. Fear is about future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present, right? So this is a website that has over 4,000 feeling words in English language. It's really helpful to have a really good feeling vocabulary. What am I feeling right now? And to be able to identify and be specific as you can and to make you make sense to you, like I said. And so this is really helpful. And so it's helpful to know all these words. And it's also helpful, in my opinion, in my experience, is to sum it up, to make it really simple. There's too many choices. Sum it up. The positive ones are joy, peace, and love. Those are different and they got to be handled differently, but that's what we're going for, is joy, peace, and love. What we got to do to get there is be able to handle our big three negatives, which I'm saying are fear, anger, and sadness. If you can deal with your biggest fears, your anger and your sadness in your life, if you can deal with those three, just those three, really well, there's like nothing that life can throw at you that you can't handle. It's a beautiful thing. So get good at these three and kind of sum up whatever it is that you might be feeling, probably can be summed up into one or many or a combination of these three. And then and you want to get good at these three, and then you can be able to do most anything. If you can manage your negatives, you got it. You got it. You can. I used to be really scared. I've had tons of fear in my life, all my life. I've grown up with tons of fear. I used to shut myself down. I used to hide. I used to not stand out in any way. There's no possible way I'd stand up here like this in front of 100 people and make a fool of myself. There's no way I would have done this. And a lot of people are more afraid of public speaking than dying. It's wild to talk about fear, and I've been there before. I've been there, but now I'm not perfect. I'm not unconsciously competent. I'm consciously competent, though. I'm now better at dealing with my fear and my anger and my sadness, and because of that, I can allow myself to do more, to be bigger, to express myself, to risk more, to open my heart, to be more loving, to be more kind. I can do all that because if it doesn't go well, I will deal with it. I know I can deal with it. And that to me gives me inner peace. That gives me big time inner peace. I know that I can deal with me no matter what comes up in my life. And that is fantastic. I can tell you, I used to not, and now I do, and I love that. I love that. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it by any means, but I'm getting better and better, and I think it's working. I think it's working for me. It's working big time. I fear, anger, and sadness. If I can deal with those, and I do pretty well, I could do some cool stuff. So it all starts with this. So, like I said, if you don't take anything away from all me running my mouth for the hour now, if you don't take anything away from this, take this one thing: emotional responsibility, meaning that you are in charge of you. No matter what happens outside of you, you have the power to control what happens inside of you. That means you're in control of you and your life. That's a beautiful thing, right? That is fantastic. And there's so much we can't control, as you guys know, that we just had an election. There's a lot of people are so upset about the results of the election, really, really scared about what's going to happen next. Blah blah blah. There's so much that we don't have control over: our parents, our teachers, our school, our economy, the weather, la 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 la, the government, all this stuff that we don't have control over. But there's one thing that we do have control over. Me. I do have one thing as I can be in control of me. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, in my opinion. So here's how it works real quick. Things happen outside of us. We have, and they do, and they'll keep happening. If we get out of bed in the morning, even if you don't get out of bed in the morning, stuff's happening outside of you. Then we have thoughts and feelings about what's happening. Well, now you just brought it inside. Now it's your problem. So we just brought it inside. So what do you do with it? Awareness, be aware of what you just realize what happened. Be aware, mindful of your thoughts and feelings. Accept them. Just takes a second, but it's a really important step. Then evaluating, do I like this? Is this working for me? Is this what I want to do? This is name it to tame it and spin it to win it. All right. Is this what I want? It's mine. It's mine. So I can do something with it. And then decide what do you want? What do you want to do? If anything, what do you want to do about it? And that's decision. And then you act. And the awareness and acceptance and all that, and your feelings and emotions are all inside of you. Now your actions are probably outside of you, and there's going to be consequences. Like I said, warning, warning. So, but we got to act, and our actions become who we are and our behaviors. A bunch of actions become our behaviors, and that's the results we're going to get in our lives. And so basically, your thoughts and feelings are inside, your actions and results are outside. But like I said, the awareness, acceptance, and action are the steps that we need to get good at taking. Um, this is Viktor Frankl. He was in a concentration camp, and he came up with his amazing stuff. He managed to get through concentration camp with in incredible ways, and he studied the guards. He used to do therapy for the guards, and try, and in anyway. He said between the stimulus and response, there's a space, which means when stuff happens outside of you and how you respond to it, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response, right? What I said earlier, respond, not react. We get to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So we get to decide, no matter what happens outside of us, how we respond to that. And that gives us power. Nature versus nurture, we're born with everything we need. We just need to learn how to do this. We got to get better at it. Belief systems are big generalized beliefs that we have, usually from trauma, started from when we're kids or whatever. It's what we mean, what the world means to us. There's a difference between what something defined, the definition of a word versus the meaning, right? The definition is in the dictionary. That's what the word means, or that's what the word is describing or whatever. But what it means to me and about me, that's a whole different deal. That's a whole different deal. We don't react to the event, to people and events or words, but we react to what they mean to us, right? If somebody's walking away, you might not mean anything. Someone just walking away doesn't mean a thing to me, right? Or someone's walking away because they're leaving me. Okay, now we got big time meaning on them doing that action. Now I'm going to have all kinds of thoughts and feelings because of them walking away. And it's what it means. And I get to decide what it means to me. We choose the meanings. That's cool. Men are not disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them, which is our meaning. So check that out. Belief systems can be helpful or not helpful. This is a really cool process that Doc talked me about. I told you about my mentor. Event meaning feeling behavior means event is something happened, anything it happened, and it keeps happening. So there's stuff happens in our lives, right? That's the event. What does it mean to me? What does it mean about me? And what is that? And depending on what meaning I put on it, I'm going to have a feeling. If it means that I'm bad, or it means that that something not good, then I'm going to have not good feelings about that, and therefore I'm probably going to behave in not cool ways. So this is a process that you can go through. It makes sense of our past, of how our past affects our present and our future, with your belief systems and your meanings that you put on them. You become aware of them and accept them, and then you can do something about them and heal this stuff. This is a worksheet that I created for doing just that. You put down in the first column what happened, what did you just, and that's a fact that is just what something happened. The second part is what about it? So what about it? What does that mean to you? What is it about me? I am, or life is, or the world is, or men are, or that kind of thing. We decide those things based on what happened. We try to make sense of the world. That creates feelings, which then become behaviors. So here's an example. This is me, for real. We moved a lot when I was little. My dad was in the United States Air Force, and we moved all the time. Okay, that's a fact. What did it mean to me? I felt like everybody was leaving me. My friends kept leaving. I kept leaving them, or they were leaving me, and I thought it was me. I took it personal, and I thought something was wrong with me. That they didn't love me. That I was unwanted, and I then was painful, and the world was scary because I never knew who was going to be leaving and when, and that kind of thing. So those are the beliefs, those are the meanings that I put on them, which made me feel hurt, afraid, angry, sad, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of yucky stuff because of this event. All right. I took that. I did that. And then what did I do with that? I withdrew. I did some addiction stuff I don't want to talk about. Uh, I shut down, all kinds of stuff that because I thought something was wrong with me and that they were leaving me. So down the bottom, however, I can do it different. I can change it. This is spin it to win it. Down the bottom, we moved a lot. That's still true. That is a fact. That is still true. Now, what do I change it to? Well, I'm changing it. This is taking a lot of work. And again, this is real simple, but it ain't easy. Maybe it's not me. Maybe they weren't leaving me personally. Maybe they were just leaving. And so maybe it doesn't have anything to do with me and I'm okay. And that maybe I'm lovable and it's that kind of thing. And the world could be maybe safe, la la la. So how does that feel? I feel more safe. I feel more peaceful. I feel more connected, and I can do better because of it. So again, this is you can have the PowerPoint later and use this worksheet. Happy to share it with you. I got a bunch of them. I've had people this worksheet change your life. Change your life. You go through these, do a couple of them or a bunch of them. I had one lady do 35 of them. 35 of them. She filled this out. She's like, okay, when this happened, I took this from it and it made me feel all this stuff and I did all blah, blah, blah. And she goes, but not anymore. Not anymore. I'm changing it. I'm changing my meanings. I'm changing my feelings. And she's like, she's going on. It's really fun. So this worksheet can change your life if you use it properly. So just wanted to share that with you. Empathy, number one biggest skill in emotional intelligence. I run a bunch of social media groups on emotional intelligence. We did a survey, and this was by far the biggest one. What's the biggest skill in emotional intelligence? Empathy, understanding other people, being emotionally honest with yourself. I already talked about the social. So this is feel it to heal it. Feelings expressed as intensely as they are felt in your body will reduce in intensity and are free to change. That's from Doc Downey, right? Feelings expressed as intensely as they are felt will reduce in intensity and are free to change. That's feel it to heal it. Let yourself feel sometimes and just scream or just cry or just curl up in a ball and realize how depressed you are or scared you are or sad you are and just let yourself feel it just for a little bit. And then your body will thank you, and then you can let go of it, and you can go back to being happy and joyful and peaceful and all that cool stuff. But if you let yourself feel sometimes a permission to feel, it's called, give yourself permission to feel and other people, you can do some incredible stuff with your body and with your emotions. Um, Emotions, a lot of times you can't see what's going on, all kinds of stuff going on underneath the surface. Use I messages in your communications. This is about words. I feel, I think, I believe. It seems self-centered, but that's all you really know is what you think and feel, right? That's what you know. You don't know what other people, what's going on for them. So you got to be personally, emotionally responsible. I want, I expect, or I expected, I understand, I appreciate, I would like, stuff like that. Use I messages. It really helps in your communications. Um, Here's some things not to do, some of the words not to do. Don't be putting down other people. Don't be calling them names. Don't use sarcasm and judgments and threats and demands and guilt trips and pouting, all that kind of stuff. These are some of the stuff that in your relationships, if you can not do some of these, then you can get along a lot better with people. Um, here's this is that listening with soul I was talking about. Stop, open up, and listen. I love this picture. This guy is just totally being there with her. He's just listening. He's got his whole body language toward her. He's not. It looks like he's just completely, making it safe, and she's expressing herself. And I just really like this picture shows a lot of how to do that. Just be there, and that's what he's doing. He can help her change her life without saying a word, without saying a word. It's amazing. It's amazing. And she's like, "Thank you, thank you." Anyway, and to do that, you do not have to agree. I said this earlier. Acceptance does not mean approval. You can accept that she's feeling what she's feeling, whatever the other person is talking about, without approving of it. That's not your place to approve or not approve, actually. And listen for feelings. Listen for feelings. Sometimes the details of what's going on, what happened behind it, is irrelevant. What matters is what do you feel about it, and you can ask people. So, how does that feel? What's going on inside of you because of what happened, and let them talk about that. And once they talk about that, they're like, "Oh, yeah, that I did, yeah." It just forming the words and having someone safe there to be able to put it into some kind of make some sense out of it and say it is kind of magical. It's a difference between complaining and venting, by the way. Complaining is venting is you feel it while you're saying it, feel it, let your body feel it while you're talking, and then your body will feel better. You and your body will feel better. It's cool. Um, Oh, and if people start crying, let them, let them. Don't try to stop them. Ask them what else, what else, and you just be safe and you be real gentle and calm and come in closer and like, what else, what else, what else is hurting for you? While you're in there, clean it all out. Go ahead, just let it all out of you. Doesn't have to be on me or anybody else. It's out of you. And if you can be there for people and just let them feel what they feel and let their body release some of this stuff, and this goes the same for you, is that your body is going to be very thankful and it's magical healing stuff. It's really cool. So what else? What else? This is pretty cool. A lot of people have big judgments about anger. This is from Aaron Gandhi. This Mahatma Gandhi was his grandpa, and he wrote this thing called The Gift of Anger. Gandhi thought anger was a gift, and he used his anger to change things, right? Especially for your country. He did some fantastic stuff because he was angry. He was angry and he used it properly. Anger can be a fantastic, wonderful, amazing thing, motivational, powerful thing. If used properly, it can be incredibly destructive and mean and all kinds of things and just and violent and all that if it's used improperly. But if it's used properly, anger can be a gift, which I think is pretty cool. So this Aristotle said anyone can become angry. That's easy. To be angry with the right person to the right degree at the right time for the right purpose in the right way. Not so easy. Not so easy. Again, simple, not easy. So um, be careful of your generalities. That's part of those meanings that we put on it. If we say, life is this way, or guys are this way, or men are unsafe, or that kind of stuff, those are big generalities. They're usually wrong. Try to be as specific as you can. This person might have been dangerous to me, but that doesn't mean all guys or all people are anything. So be careful of your generalities. Um, One of the things I find useful is what is distinctions. What's the difference between this and that? If you go to our website, I have a quiz. I think there's 100 of them of what's the difference between this and that. For example, when you tell yourself "I can't" versus "I won't," those are a big difference. That's a big difference, right? And it's really helpful. So many people say, I can't handle this, or I can't do that anymore. And what they mean is, I won't do it. If you change it to I won't, if you say I can't, that makes you powerless. It limits you. It makes it so that you're not in charge really because I can't. Oh, I can't. No, I won't makes it a whole different deal. No, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to do it. Or whatever. But you get the idea. I can't versus I won't. Here's another big one. I need versus I want. They think they need you need 8 hours of sleep. They think you need sex. They think we need this and that and the other. You don't need any of that stuff. You need to sleep sometimes and that sort of thing. But I want it. That's different. I want it. Then you can make it happen. But you don't really just be careful of distinguishing those two. So if you, like I said, go back to the website, what's the EQ diff, as I call it. And that's, if you go to that page, there's a whole bunch of them on there, and try to distinguish some of them. They're fun. It's fun, and it's very educational. Okay, so I'm wrapping it up here. I know we're way over time. I'm trying to go fast, but let's wrap it up. So, takeaways from this whole thing. Decide that both your thoughts and your emotions matter. Both of them, not just your thoughts, but your emotions matter. We tend to deny and put away our feelings and emotions. Turns out they're oh so very important. They are. They are. Emotions matter a lot. And so give them some more credibility, give them some more priority in your life, understand yourself better, learn about you. It's really, really important. So both your thoughts and your emotions matter. Take responsibility. Like I said, this is the number one for this whole thing. Take responsibility for yourself and your life, your thoughts. If you could take the leap to say, my thoughts and feelings are mine, they are mine. I own them and they are mine. Nobody made me angry. Nobody hurt my feelings. I did that and I can change it. I can change it. So if you take ownership of it, you can do awesome stuff. If you don't, you become a whiner, blamer, victim, and it's not fun and it's not cool and it's not helpful. Not helpful. So take ownership, please. Take some time to master your thinking and feeling. Get good at it. Prioritize it a little bit. Take some actual time and learn about you. Like fill out that worksheet, or Krishnaveer mentioned about the feelings journal that we have. Just get a notebook or get on your laptop or your phone and whatever, and write about what you're thinking and feeling. Write about it, and it'll be amazing to yourself. I'm a big fan of journaling. I've got these little notebooks. I've done like 100 of these that I've filled out. I think I'm at 110, and I type like crazy, and I explore me, and I explore what's going on, my thoughts and feelings, and it's been the best thing ever. And it's pretty much free, and it's exploring yourself. Discover, recover, uncover, and recover. I like that. And share it. So share with someone else what's going on. It helps to find somebody else safe. Safety is a big deal. I didn't have a slide on this. I should have. Safety, safety, safety. We're making it safe for ourselves. We're making it safe for others, and we're going to find people who are safe for us, with us, and be able to share with them. And you be safe for them too, and you let them and shut up and listen to them sometimes, and they shut up and listen to you sometimes, and make it safe. And share what's going on for you, with you, inside of you. What's happening. So it's really, really helpful. I call them allies. Create allies in your life. And then consciously build some peace and positivity. Notice that you can be positive. You can be grumpy. You can be negative. You can be a butt. Or you can be positive and have purpose and be loving and be a leader and that kind of stuff. It's up to you all day, every day. You get to decide. You have the choice. And so consciously choose positive, choose love, as a friend of mine puts it. I choose love. She has a big sticker on her desk. She says, I choose love. That's because she wants to. That's why, because it feels good. It's an awesome thing. And I could choose it. I could not choose it. It's up to me completely, every day, all day. So consciously choose to be positive. All right. So here's me, eqforpeace.org. Come check it out. We connect if you want to. Here's my email address, matt@eqforpeace.org. Here's my WhatsApp number. If you want to get in touch with me, and we're trying to change the world, teach the world, change the world, save the world, whatever you want to call it. We got lots of stuff to do. My first question always is, somebody wants to help. Somebody asked today, can I help? And I said, yeah. What do you want? My first question is, what do you want to do? Because there's so many areas that you can help. and you don't have to actually be connected with us if you don't want to, but do things positive for other people because it feels good. One of my hashtags is give to live. Give to live. If you give more, if you are more loving, if you are a leader in a positive way, it feels really cool. It feels awesome. So try it for yourself, for other people. So that's it. Questions if you want. And like I said, I can make this PowerPoint available to you if you want it. And happy to share whatever we can. We've got lots and lots and lots and lots of information and about emotions and about thoughts and about positive mental health. And I'm happy to share it. Pretty much everything we do is free so far, which is a problem, but it is how it is so far. I'm getting in trouble for that. Anyway, so any comments, questions, concerns, complaints? Let me know. You put it in the chat or raise your hand or whatever. I assume we're way over time, so probably want to end this, but happy to hang out for a little while longer.
Thank you,
Anything?
Professor Matt. A wonderful session. As usual, you rocked the session. So I hand over the session to Dr. K. Sushil Kumar, convener, for his remarks.
Thank you, Ravi, and that's a amazing and wonderful session by Dr. Challa, Krishnaveer, Abhishek, and Professor Matt. They have covered a lot of. The session itself is informative and it is very helpful to our students, scholars from different disciplines. Now I invite the participant to ask the questions.
Dear participants, if you have any queries or suggestions, observations, feel free to raise your hand. Yep. After this Q&A session, we'll be sharing the feedback form. So let's utilize this opportunity. I know many of in campuses, especially in higher educational campuses, we have a lot of negative emotions flowing. We are not able to recognize the resources, opportunities available. And we focus on more on negative things rather than focusing on the positive things. So this is a wonderful opportunity where we all, can focus and try to move on from negativity to positivity. So if you have any queries or if you like to, pose some questions where you want to convert your negative thoughts to positive thoughts, this is a wonderful opportunity. Our Professor Matt is there to address you. Now, just get ready to pose some questions or queries. You can raise your hand so that we can give you permission or we can unmute you from our end.
I have a couple people wrote to me directly in the chat, so nobody else can see it, but I can. So if you guys ask a question, put it public if you would. But there's a fellow from Kenya. Oh, that's pretty cool.
He's saying, take up one by one in the chat box, then we can invite oral.
Okay. Okay, I think it's just a compliment. He's saying the model under cognitive affective behavioral therapy is a modern way of solving mindset problems that is elicited by life challenges. Thumbs up, sir. Right on. Omari, thank you. That's cool. He's saying CABT is a real thing, which I totally believe. It's amazing. Another one says, you are explaining it so well, sir. So thank you. That's cool. Next one says, to what extent do specific linguistic structures and communication patterns influence the development and expression of SEL, social competencies in individuals within SEL and EQ? So that's a big question. I probably should have said more about that in my PowerPoint, but so specific linguistic structures, I assume that means what words do you use and how you use them, and communication patterns, big time. How much do they influence your development expression? Big time, big time. They're what you say to yourself, what you say, how you explain things to yourself, how you make sense of the world, that kind of thing is going to change everything for you. It changes everything. And so, so be careful and change them if you don't like them, if they're not working for you. If you have a thought and you have a feeling, you go, is this working for me? And do I like it? Both. Those are different. So logic side says, does this make sense? Bum, 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 like on our logic left side. And our right brain says, does that feel right? Does it feel good? Is this something I want? Is this something that's good for me? Right? So both, we want to balance both of those. So watch out for those. Here comes another one directly. A wonderful session. Would you mind sharing the perspective how emotions can be applicable for linguistics? Okay, well, they affect each other. They affect each other. Pradeep is asking. They affect each other. So our emotions affect what we say, and what we say affects what our emotions. Both. They both back and forth. So Uh, so again, be aware and accept what's going on for you, and how that's going to affect what you think and say and feel and do. Thank you. So both ways, and what you read and what you believe and what you take in and what you understand and what you accept is going to affect your thoughts and feelings as well. Like Krishnaveer's some of those poems were saying about, I choose this and I notice this and I felt this, and that's where it goes with them. So, share the PowerPoint. Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. Ravi, how do I share the PowerPoint? How can I send it to you and you share it with everybody? Would that work? Or if you give me a couple minutes, I can
We
I
will
can
share
put it
it
on
with
Google
the
Drive. Give you a
feedback
link to it.
form, Professor Matt. You share it to me in the email.
Yeah,
I will share it along with
yeah,
the feedback form so that they can fill the feedback form and also get their certificate.
beautiful, beautiful, great, great, great. Okay. Anything else, you guys?
Yeah, I think we ran out of time and everyone is waiting for the lunch. So we have one hand raised. We'll take it up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Omari Kogai. Do you have any query?
Kenya.
Concerning the issue of psychology, emotions, and linguistics.
Okay, speak.
For instance, now when somebody is talking, how does linguistics or the arrangement of words and emotions correlate? Is there any perfect correlation concerning the same? Kindly clarify. Thank you.
Omari, you are
Yes.
from which country?
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya. Okay. Yeah, over
Yes.
to you, ma'am.
I'm saying
Yeah.
before somebody utter any word, there are
Okay.
some psycho-linguistic models that the words or any articulation follow.
Mhm.
How does emotion affect the pattern of that model before the person says something?
Okay. So, Matt, Professor Matt,
Yes.
yeah, can you answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, Umar, let Professor Matt take over.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say right this minute. I'm not linguistics kind of guy.
Yeah.
Better at that one, but I could just say that it does. I mean, obviously your emotions are going to affect what you say and do, and what, those other people. So,
Dr. K. Sushil Kumar, sir.
Yeah, sir. Can I have a question for you, or Professor Matt?
Please
So
go ahead.
my question is on how this stylistics related to the emotions.
I don't know what stylistics
Professor
are. I'm sorry.
Matt is not more into this linguistics. So
Yeah. That's
so
okay.
anything in general, Professor will be able to address.
Is there any questions,
Whatever.
audience?
think Krishnaveer is not seen. Maybe some connectivity issue. Otherwise, he could have
Addressed maybe.
addressed the query. No issues. Those who have more core linguistics related queries, you can feel free to put in chat box. We'll get back to you once we contact the resource person.
Yeah,
I got it.
yeah.
So any other queries, feel free to share. You
Here's
have
one. Kambi said your views on over talking. So over talking could be that you're talking too much, but it could be also that you're interrupting people and you're talking over them, which are two different things. But I assume you mean over talking, meaning talking too much. So that's emotion based. You got it. Someone wants to be heard apparently, and they're talking too much, and they're a lot of times over talking and overthinking usually means, in my opinion, under feeling, meaning that we can talk blah, 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 and never actually get to the feeling. In fact, sometimes the purpose of talking so fast and so much is to not feel. And if you stop for a minute and you slow down for a minute, then your feelings will come up inside, and it's kind of uncomfortable, and that's what we're trying to avoid, apparently. So a lot of people avoid their feelings big time and have their whole lives. It's one of the scariest things that they ever do is to feel, especially their negative emotions. And so they find really creative ways of not feeling. And one way to do that is to talk really fast and talk and keep talking, is to not feel. It seems like it'd be the opposite, but it works really well, actually. And so if you are talking too much, or you're talking from a head level, we call it coming from your head only, that's to avoid feeling your feelings, and not particularly helpful, and not particularly effective, and it doesn't make for close relationships. It doesn't make for you being able to deal with your actual emotions. It's an avoidance technique and a way to hide, kind of. It's funny. It seems funny that you could be loud and all that and hide at the same time, but you can. But people are trying to avoid their feelings, and I'm saying, don't avoid them. Go for them. Go for them. It's not the thoughts. It's not the details that really matter. It's the emotion. And then if you let yourself feel that stuff, then your body will release it and you can feel better. You will feel better, and you'll go back naturally to your natural state, which is peaceful and loving and kind and gentle and free. Peace, love, and joy. So what can one do if they're not able to journal? Is another question. How can you not be able to journal? If you cannot journal, I assume that means you can't write or something. I don't know how you could not be able to journal, because you just get a piece of paper, or you work on your computer and you just say it, write it to yourself. So I highly recommend it, recommend journaling. So I don't know much else that can stop you from it. I'm fearful of expressing. Okay. Kambi said, I am fearful of expressing. Okay. That's different. That's okay. That's awareness, right? You're aware now that you're fearful of that. And if you accept that you're afraid of that, okay, now what are you going to do about it? I suggest you write more, that you express yourself more often till you get good at it. Because, like I said, a lot of this is uncomfortable. Sometimes it's really uncomfortable. If you can get comfortable being uncomfortable, then you can do all kinds of things. If you can only be in your comfort zone, if I only do things that I'm comfortable doing, then you're limited. You can't go very far. If you can allow yourself to be uncomfortable, to try new things, to push your comfort zone, to express yourself when it's uncomfortable, when you can go through your fears, if you can acknowledge and understand and allow your fears even, and keep going anyway, go through them, then you can do some cool stuff with it. But if you have to be comfortable at all times, then good luck with that. I mean, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. You're going to stop yourself over and over and over again. So let yourself get comfortable being uncomfortable. And these emotions are definitely uncomfortable sometimes, and that's okay. That's okay. They'll get better. They'll get better. He said, I keep myself busy. Okay, that's cool. And I mean, that's one way of handling it. That's one way of avoiding your feelings. It sounds like that's what you're doing because you're afraid of expressing. Then you stay real busy. That a lot of people do that. A lot of Americans, especially, keep themselves totally busy to avoid feeling what they actually are feeling, and that's not particularly helpful, in my opinion. So, I am going to put my email and WhatsApp in the chat as well. So
Matt, there is one query about the cultural boundaries and EQ.
Oh yeah, boundaries are awesome. Just a second, let me finish this. And at eq4peace.org. Boom, there we go. Okay, boundaries. Boundaries are a wonderful thing. I have a bumper sticker that says, I love my boundaries. They set me free, because there are limits. There are things that are okay with me, and there are things that are not okay with me. There are ways that you can treat me, and there are ways I'm not going to allow you to treat me. I have boundaries, and I have boundaries even for myself. Even for myself. And so if I know my boundaries well, then I can do a lot of cool stuff. I can allow myself to be free, but knowing that there's limits. There are limits. And boundaries are one thing that what you do to keep your boundaries. Are you ready for this? Anger. Anger is one way that we keep it in our anger toolbox. We have a mental and emotional toolbox. I keep mine. You could keep yours wherever you want. I keep mine like right here. It's in my system, in my spirit kind of thing. It's a neuro-linguistic programming deal where you have an emotional toolbox, and I can pick up my anger tool anytime I want to. If somebody's crossing my boundaries, if somebody's doing something that's not okay with me, I can go, hey, I can pick up my anger tool and I go, hey, knock it off. Don't treat me that way, or don't treat somebody else that way, or whatever. Don't do that. And then I can set it back down. I can set my anger back down and go, okay, don't do that. Okay. And so I can go back to being loving and open and kind, but I can pick up my anger tool whenever I need it. I can pick up my sadness tool if I need to deal with that for a while, or I can even allow myself to be fearful sometimes if that's what I want to let my body feel that and express it and let it out of me. And so I can pick up those tools and use them, and then I can put them back down. Put them back down. I don't have to walk around like this all the time. I used to think because my boundaries weren't very good and I didn't know how to deal with my anger. I used to thought, okay, I gotta protect myself at all times. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Well, that gets old. It gets really old. Your body gets really tired of that, and your spirit's gonna really get tired of that. What helps is to be peaceful and know that I can pick up my anger anytime I want to. I can keep my boundaries when I need to, if and when I need to, and I don't have to walk around tense and scared of the world and angry and protecting all the time. That's no fun. No fun at all.
Thank you, Professor Matt. It was really wonderful session. And
Cool.
Yeah, it's almost lunch time, so I won't take much time again from the participants. Now I request Dr. K. Sushil Kumar sir for the concluding remarks.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. What can I say? It's a brainstorming session. Really thankful to Krishnaveer and Professor Matt for such a wonderful talk. And Krishnaveer, he spoke on this science of anxiety and exit points, and he also spoke on the poetry therapy, poetry and voices and how this poetry is the platform for expressing our emotions. And he also
Yeah,
touched
absolutely.
upon uh, coping skills and strategies, grief management, negative thoughts. Now, yeah, it is very relevant today because that younger generation and even the parents, they are not focusing on their children. Due to this, uh, they are getting attempting suicide and all these things. So because of these negative thoughts, so the parents should be educated first, that because if one door, as Krishnaveer said, if done one door closes, there are 99 doors open for the human beings. Yes, he also spoke on emotions, the importance of the emotional literature in academics. So I really thank Krishnaveer for such a uh, informative talk, and also Professor Matt. He spoke on the various issues of this emotional intelligence, and due to lack of emotional literature, people are facing a lot of problems like violence, abuse, addiction, suicide, divorce, and physical and mental health. He also spoke on the domains of the EQ, like self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So, uh, Professor Butt, he spoke on the three components of EQ, like thought, feelings, and actions. He also added that decisions in between that one. That's a wonderful thing, sir. So emotional education is very important in colleges and universities. Yes, as you rightly said that these emotional education is very important for the introducing in the colleges and universities. So finally, uh, yeah, as Professor Matt said rightly, that change your thought, change your feelings, and that change your life, and ultimately it leads to the peace, world peace, right? So thank you so much, sir. So Department of Linguistics as organizing such kind of talks. In a series of talks we are taking. So we are looking forward for more such kind of talks from you if you permit. So we'll arrange some more talks with you with your permission.
Okay.
And also we are going to conduct this clinical linguistics talk on clinical domain, clinical linguistics, and also forensic linguistics. So for that also, if you give a topic, then we'll arrange a talk on that one, sir. So thank you so much, and really our participants, particularly the students and scholars of Department of Linguistics, they are benefited with your talk, and it's vast and informative, and it's very useful for our students. And I thank both of you, Challa, Krishnaveer, Abhishek, and Professor Matt, for giving their valuable time and addressing the audience. Thank you so much. Over to Ravindra.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for
Appreciate
your
it.
concluding remarks. So I take this opportunity to propose formal vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Linguistics. As we all know that today we have Department of Linguistics, University College of Arts and Social Sciences. Osmania University has organized online international multidisciplinary webinar on role of language on social and emotional learning and emotional intelligence starting at 11 a.m. Since the inception of this Department of Linguistics in 1962, various eminent scholars, researchers, and professors like Professor B.H. Krishnamurti, Professor H.S. Anantanarayana, Professor B. Lakshmibai, Professor C. Ramarao, Professor V. Prakasham, Professor B. Ramakrishna Reddy, who has been recently awarded Padma Shri Award, and Professor Aditi Mukherjee, Professor J. Venkateshwar Shastri, Professor K. Nagama Reddy, Professor V. Swarajya Lakshmi, Professor D. Vasanta, Professor A. Usharani, Professor B. Vijayanarayana, Professor K. Ramesh Kumar, Professor Muhammad Ansari, and many more such eminent scholars in the field of linguistics has introduced various specializations and dwelled into subject depths and elevated the subject and profession to new heights, expanded horizons to their immense research and contributions, which is widely acknowledged by the fraternity in India and abroad, leaving a glorious legacy to all of us, everyone, and leaving, a platform to take forward by the present professors, researchers, research scholars, and students. So in this continuation of carrying forward such a glorious legacy, we are organizing so many programs, activities in the department, and invite everyone to be part of such upcoming initiatives. So in this webinar, Professor Matt Perelstein, who is Clinical Professor of Practice and Emotional Intelligence Trainer and Global Peace Advocate from USA, and Dr. Challa Krishnaveer Abhishek, presented on the role of language on social and emotional learning and emotional intelligence, and research contributions on importance on the role of language on social learning, emotional development, intelligence and emotional quotient, the impact of language on social skills and emotional regulation, and the influence of language on physical, psychological, social, emotional well-being. Further, this talk also focused on early identification of emotions, naming those emotions, understanding them and accepting them, and working on those emotions to making them more positive and productive. And also various strategies were discussed to improve the emotional development, thereby increasing and managing emotional intelligence in children, adolescents, and adults. So I thank the Department of Linguistics, Dr. C.S. Swati, the head Department of Linguistics, Dr. K. Sushil Kumar, sir, Chairperson, Board of Studies, Department of Linguistics, and also the convener of this international webinar, Dr. K. Balu Nayak, sir, who is faculty and also Vice Principal for University College of Arts and Sciences, and Dr. Professor C. Kasim, sir, Principal, University College of Arts and Social Sciences, and Dr. Ram Shepherd Bivaneni, sir, Vice Principal, University College of Arts and Social Sciences, and everyone who have contributed immensely through your time and participation. And especially, once again, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the speakers of the day, eminent speakers, Professor Matt Perelstein and Dr. Challa Krishnaveer Abhishek, on behalf of the entire department and fraternity, for coming us and joining us, gracing and enlightening us with wonderful, insightful learning on emotional intelligence and social emotional learning. Thank you once again. And I also thank the department for giving me this opportunity. And as usual, let's continue together the journey of happy learning, even in future. Thank you. The feedback form has been shared in the chat box. We request all the participants to fill the feedback form to receive a certificate. YouTube participants, you can also fill the feedback form which has been shared in the YouTube chat. And those who could not join Zoom session can watch the entire session on YouTube and then provide your feedback form through feedback form so that you can receive your certificates. And we apologize, there was some initial problem in the Zoom servers where we couldn't immediately go live because that was beyond our hands. It was some technical problem at Zoom and YouTube connectivity. We apologize for that, but we ensure that the entire session is being recorded and the entire session will be put on YouTube for your participation in by the end of the day. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. And I hand over the session to Dr. K. Sushil Kumar, sir, convener, for officially closing the event and any concluding remarks. Over to you, Dr. K. Sushil Kumar.
Yeah, thank you, Ravi. And my special thanks to both of you, that Challa, Krishnaveer, Abhishek, and Professor Matt, for giving their valuable time for this talk. And dear participants, Department of Linguistics is going to organize more such webinars. So please do participate in such webinars, and we will be sharing the information regarding the upcoming events. And now it's the time to officially close the webinar. I am declaring that this webinar is closed now. Thank you, each and everyone. And please collect your e-certificates sent to your email address. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you all. It was fun. Happy to do more if you would like. Take care. Make your emotions a priority, please. You'll be glad you did. Bye-bye.